Welcome to the first video of 2025. I cannot believe it is a new year. This is absolutely crazy. I thought for the first video back we could just have a fun, chill, little chatty video talking all about my kind of inspiration, goals, and just projects that I want to make in 2025 when it comes to knitting, sewing, and crocheting. 2024 was a huge year of creativeness and crafts for me, and we're only getting bigger and better in 2025. Okay, there's so many things that I want to make and I want to do, and of course, me being me, anytime I have an idea or want to find some inspiration, I go to Pinterest, and I made a 2025 craft inspo Pinterest board, and I just thought it could be fun to go through it with you and talk through all the things that I am hoping they're kind of like on my bucket list to make for 2025. Now, these aren't like specific projects or patterns or anything like that. There will be a patterns video coming to you next week if you guys are wanting specific inspo. This is more kind of just like types of things that I want to be making and just kind of skills or just types of projects I want to make and I hope to make throughout the year. I don't really ever like to have a, I guess, to-do list of what to make kind of thing. I just like having inspo out there and then going with what I feel like, you know. So this is going to be a great place for me to go to during the year if I'm ever stuck on what to make, which I don't know if that'll be a thing because I always have at least like 2 or 3 projects in my mind that I want to make at all times. So like as soon as I finish one, I already know what I want to be making for the next like 2 projects. But anyway, regardless, I just feel like this is going to be a great place for me to come to if I ever do hit that wall and just want something to look through and get inspo from. So we're going to go through it all together. Maybe you can get some inspo as well. Otherwise, let's just have a cute little chat. I love having craft chats with you guys. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get to it. Okay, so the first thing we have on my Pinterest board is color work. This isn't really specifically for knitting or crochet, although on my Pinterest board right now this stuff is mostly for knitting, but I do want to try this for crochet. It's just something I've always wanted to explore. I've always been too intimidated to explore, but I feel like I've gotten at a good point in my, I guess, knitting and crocheting skills where I'm like, it's time to do this. I have actually done a color work project with crochet before. I made like a little bag with flowers on it and that went fine, but I don't know, I feel like I was so intimidated after that for a while. I haven't done it since, and I didn't really like the process of it with crochet. I don't know why, it just like did my head in, but for some reason with knitting I feel like it is different and I enjoy it more. We can already kind of tick this one off of the box, although I feel like this is just the beginning with color work. I feel like there's so many color work projects I want to do, which we will go through in my board, but of course I have to show you guys what I've been working on over the holidays, over the past few weeks. This is my first ever color work project, which, oh my god, look at her. I'm so excited. I've been documenting the process of this over on my TikTok, but there will be a full YouTube video out on her, of course, because look how stunning. This is actually a freehand sweater that I'm doing. I designed the pattern myself, and we are almost through with the color work, and I've been absolutely enjoying it so much so far. I really do love the process of it. Here are my floats as well. It's just so much fun and a lot less intimidating and confusing than I thought it would be. So yeah, this was one that I was like already itching to get started and get into. So like I said, that's only the beginning of color work. I feel like also I'm doing that one like where you knit the color work into your project. I don't know what that's called, but I would also love to try to do duplicate stitch as well. That's also something that could be really cool, and I feel like maybe for like more complicated like pictures or like text I would do duplicate stitch, but for something like that where it's like a repeating pattern, I feel like just knitting it into the work is cool. But yeah, color work is a big one. We have so many examples here. I love just anything like this one that is just like a beautiful like repeat pattern. I feel like these are kind of ones that you would see like in shops, like in clothes that you'd buy in stores, like same with this one and this one. Like I just love patterns like that. They're really cool. I also do this beautiful floral one down here is really stunning as well. I do also love that with Pinterest they always have these like charts that you can use. Like look at this gingham one. This gingham pattern is beautiful. I really feel like I want to knit like a whole sweater with this pattern. It's so stunning, these colors as well. But Pinterest is such a great place to find charts like this. Like this Scottish Terrier one is just the best thing ever, and I feel like a whole scarf full of like Scottish Terriers would be so cute. Even a whole scarf in this gingham one would be absolutely beautiful. I love that. I'm obsessed with it in like baby's clothes. I made my first baby sweater last month and it was so much fun just being able to knit such a small sweater that doesn't take quite as long as obviously a bigger sweater. And I think doing cute things with like color work would be so much fun with it, especially doing something like duplicate stitch to make like cute little animals or patterns or something on it, just to make it really fun for a baby sweater. So that's definitely on my list. Like I love this duck one, these simple little hearts. There's so much beautiful color work inspo out there. Like look at this one full of text. Like that's very intimidating to me, but I think it's really cool. This is kind of the style I'd love to do for the baby sweaters, like just a simple one with like a cute little picture in the middle of it. I think that's so fun. I feel like I wouldn't be me if I didn't have any plans to do like a Miffy inspired sweater of some sort. Like this is so cute. I love a Miffy. And even if you scroll down, like look already here, there's a Miffy. I love this bunny. I might save this bunny because that's really cute. Like imagine that in the middle of a sweater. Like there's so many cute things. Look at this one, got beautiful strawberries, this teddy bear. I love the world of color work. I feel like we're only just scratching the surface with the sweater that I'm currently making. There's going to be so many more color work sweaters out there, and I feel like it's more like, I feel like people are impressed when you say you've like handmade something, but I feel like it's just even more elevated when you've done color work, because it just looks so much cooler. And I feel like color work is just another way to make your piece look more unique and more just like, I don't want to make anything that you could buy at a store, because otherwise I feel like I want my pieces to look like you couldn't buy them. Like I want them to be obviously handmade, not in like how they look like, oh that just looks handmade, like, you know, but in like it's just so unique and like you couldn't find that in a store, and like not everyone would have this piece. That's kind of how I look at it. I feel like if I could just buy like a normal like cream knit jumper, like I just would buy it. I don't want to waste like 30 to 60 hours making that when I could easily buy it. I want to make pieces that are just like one of a kind and like no one would have that design kind of thing. So I feel like color work is just perfect for that. Like there are so many good ones. I'm very excited for what we're gonna make this year. Now you can kind of see the next one. We're moving on to the world of cable knits. I feel like cable knits and like different textures in knitting specifically are something I haven't really done before. I've like not really moved past stockinette. All of the projects I've done thus far have all been like stockinette. I think for the past year of me learning to knit has been more me learning the structure of how to make a jumper or a cardigan. I've been learning more of like the basics, like how garments are actually formed. You know, I've learned the different ways of how to form a garment, like top down in the making the yoke form, or making raglan, or even like bottom up, you know, just like learning different constructions of how to make a knit. But now that I've kind of got that understanding a bit more, I feel like it's time that I can go a bit more in depth with it and do a bit more of like cable knits and different textures and patterns actually within the knit. I feel like this is so cool. I feel like my whole life I've been looking for the perfect creamy cable knit sweater and I've never found it, and now it's my time to make it. So that might be something that happens, I don't know. I'm also obsessed with this blue textured knit here, also this lilac purple. Like there's so much fun that can be had with textures and knits like this. I feel like also with crochet there's a lot of like stitches and textured kind of stitches that I haven't done. I think crochet is something I'm a bit more comfortable with, and it's the craft I've been doing the longest, but I still think there's so much that I could experiment with and like discover. So definitely doing cable knits, textures, whatever within my fiber arts, I feel like it's going to be really fun. Next we've got the world of socks. Literally my view on socks changed like instantly. Like I had absolutely no interest whatsoever in making socks, and then all of a sudden one day I was like, I really want to make all the socks in the world. And I think it was because I discovered people were using just 9-inch little needles to make their socks rather than using magic loop or using double pointed needles, because double pointed needles terrifies me. It looks so intimidating. I know if I just like sat down and learnt it, I probably would be fine, but for now I'm like too scared. And magic loop just annoys me so much. So once I discovered people were able to actually make socks using 9-inch needles, I bought those so quick, and now I'm obsessed with the idea of making socks. I haven't actually made a pair of socks yet. I have started and gone through like halfway, and then I just got distracted by other projects, but I feel like this is the year of making socks. I'm really excited about this. Like, look at all these color work, beautiful socks right now. I literally have this pattern in my Etsy cart waiting for me. I'm excited about that one. I love the look of these like lacy kind of like frill edge socks with like the kind of pattern here. That one's really pretty to me. Like, look at this little frill. Like, I just think there's so many cute patterns you can make with the socks, and I feel like this is also a really great way for me to discover or like test out different color work ideas, because it's like on such a smaller scale, obviously, with socks rather than like a whole jumper. So that could be really fun. I'm just really excited to get into the sock knitting this year. I'm just like, I hope all my friends are ready and excited to receive a bunch of socks for gifts, because it's all I want to make. There's just so many beautiful socks that I want to make. The next one is double knitting. This one I feel like is a great skill to have, and also just unlocks a lot of different things that I could make if I was to be able to learn this skill. I learned it a little bit, but I haven't really made anything that is fully like a double knit project. Similar to this kind of scarf, I love this idea of making something where both sides obviously have the pattern on it, and you're not, you know, one side isn't like just the pretty knit and then the other side is just all like the floats. I feel like I really like the idea of this, and I definitely want to try and make like scarves using double knitting. I feel like this one will be a perfect project, just like a normal simple striped scarf, but it's like double knit, so obviously both sides have the nice knit stitches rather than one side being knit, one side purl, you know. I feel like that could be really cute. This one is just like crazy. I don't think I could make something like this, but I saw it and was like, I need to pin this because that is absolutely beautiful. Like, all of the different patterns, like this color work is just insane to me, so that's beautiful. I feel like double knitting comes in handy for like different things, like something like this one with the rib here. I know this is probably double knit as well down here, and that's definitely something I want to make. I love this pattern. I know this one's a junior one, she has one for adults, but this is just the one that I pinned. But I know things like that, having those kind of edges, are definitely double knit, so I think it just is a good skill to have and something that I think will come in handy for my future projects. Next up, we have the world of like buttons and different closures, like bow closures, buttons, that kind of thing, just to add more interest to my knits or my crochet pieces. I feel like having anything like these beautiful buttons and the little button loops as well are stunning. Like, I love a cardigan. Basically, I want to make more cardigans, and so then I need to figure out more fun ways to have cardigan openings. I also made my first cardigan last year, and that was the first time I learned how to sew buttons on. I didn't actually learn how to do buttonholes, mainly because the pattern I use, you put the buttonholes in like after the fact, like after you've knit the rib, you kind of like sew like around a little hole, and I just like couldn't get my head around it. I don't know why, it just wasn't making sense to me, and I couldn't find any tutorials about how to do it that way. All the tutorials I found were like how to knit the buttonholes in when you're fully knitting the ribbing, so couldn't figure that out. Luckily the stitches are big enough in the ribbing part that I can just poke the button through, but obviously learning how to actually do buttonholes would be great. There's just a lot of like cute cardigans and things that I feel like would just look really cute with buttons and with like a ribbon, like, or a bow closure type thing. So we've got a bunch of those pinned. We also have a bunch of like zip ups. Zip ups are definitely another one. I want to make more projects with a little zip on it. I don't really know how you put that in. I guess you hand sew that in, but I love like the half zip kind of sweaters. I feel like this is definitely something that's on my list to make. They're so cute. So yeah, basically just playing around with all the different like closures of a garment, if that makes sense. Like, look at all these cute bow ones. I love these bow ones. The buttons on this, like this one is adorable. I've pinned it twice, so clearly I love it. Like, all the bows are so cute. We've got a few more knit textures up here, but specifically I had in mind of doing something like this with garter stitch, I believe this is called, having like these little bits that are kind of coming out of the design. I really love, but like this kind of sweater with these stripes that are garter stitch, this kind of waffle detailing, I feel like that's what it's called. Like so many cute little textures, like all of these textures just would be really fun to make. Like something like this, having like the 3D kind of vibe to it, I think is really cool. That's definitely something fun. I feel like for me, I've gone past just like the basic like learning how to knit kind of things, and now I want to get into a bit more advanced and do more textures, just be more creative and have more fun with it, and just do more fun things. This one is a fun one. I don't know if I'll get to this, but it's definitely on the list. But it is learning to do Tunisian crochet. I feel like this is a great kind of mix between knitting and crochet at the same time. I've seen people who like know how to crochet like do this instead of learning how to knit, and I mean, obviously I know how to do both, but I just think why not have a new fun skill to learn. I love learning new skills, new hobbies. It's just the best part. So Tunisian crochet I feel like is really fun, and I feel like you can get a lot more creative with Tunisian crochet. At least I've seen so many cool things, like all of these, like these patterns, like this kind of color work, this texture, like you can do so many great things with Tunisian crochet. I just think it'd be a fun one to learn. This isn't really a new skill, but it's definitely just something on the list that I want to do, and this is like always on the list I feel like, but it is just doing a lot more scrap yarn projects. I have so much scrap yarn. I've tried to declutter a lot of it, but there's still so much left, and I just need to do projects that involve the yarn that I already have. I'm in this weird place with my crafts where now that I know a bit more how to make like a knit sweater, and now I want to invest in better quality natural fiber yarns for the sweaters that I make, because they do take me, you know, like 60 plus hours to make. So obviously I want to make them with the best material, but I'm left with like all of the kind of acrylic yarns that I first started learning with, because when I first started learning how to crochet, I crocheted with acrylic yarn just because it's inexpensive and it's the most accessible yarn to me. I don't have any like yarn stores in where I live that have a lot of natural fibers. Like I just don't have that a lot. I often have to order online, which can get really annoying. So I went through a big period of just buying so much yarn when I went to stores, and just I have so much left. So anyway, I feel like I need to have the good mix of like buying the natural fibers for specific projects, but then also getting through all the yarn that I already have and already bought for projects and just using them up, because a lot of them I don't have enough to make like a full sweater with. So having cute little crochet scrap yarn projects I feel like is great. I think most of these that I've pinned are crochet, but doing things like this, like making little scrunchies, this one's actually knit, not crochet, but that one's really fun. I do love the look of those frilly crochet scrunchies that everyone's making. That's really cool. This pattern, this balaclava pattern, has been on my list for so long, and I think that one is a really cool scrap yarn one to do. We also just love a scrap yarn sweater like this. I did make one of these like a couple of years ago, and it's one of my favorite things I've ever made. So I feel like we're going to be making another one of those, because I just love that. I love this top. I love this scarf as well, like all the different colors in this scarf. That's definitely something that I want to make, because I just think that's really cool, and it's a really fun way to use up your scrap yarn. Even just things like this kind of scarf is fun, where you hold like 2 strands of yarn. That's cool. I don't love doing that with crochet. I prefer it with knitting, but that's a fun project I can do. And then same with this little vest. I think that is really fun as well. The next category, which also kind of goes in with the scrap yarn, but it's just another way to do it, is granny squares. But not just any granny squares. I'm thinking like elevated granny squares. I only know how to make like the normal generic granny square. It's all I've ever made. I've never experimented with making other kinds of granny squares, and I think it's time that I do that. But there's always so many granny square projects that I want to make. Like this kind of jumper has always been on my bucket list, because I think that is so cute, and you just use a granny stitch like throughout the whole thing. I have made these granny square fingerless gloves, but you could always do with some more. This star one is beautiful. I've always wanted to make this kind of cardigan and this kind of vest. Like there are so many granny square things that I've been wanting to make for a while. I just like get sick of sitting there and just making granny square after granny square. Like I don't like doing the same thing over and over and over again. I also hate weaving in all the ends of the granny squares, and I know you can weave them as you go, but it just is so annoying having to weave in that many ends, you know, which is why I hardly ever do granny square things. But this is the year I feel like there's so many, like I've pinned so many ideas because I love the look of them. Like this is beautiful. I feel like making them with like different textures, like mohair granny squares look beautiful. This cardigan is stunning. I also love this one where it's like all the granny squares are like, it's all the same color, but you just see the textures of the granny square coming through. That's really beautiful. Yeah, we've got a lot of granny square projects to do. These ones are kind of part of the scrap yarn ones where you like hold the strands like with double, and it creates a beautiful like multicolored like speckled like pattern. I love that. Like this bag is stunning. Like love all of those. More granny squares, of course. This one, oh my god, I'm so making me and Miso matching granny square sweaters. I have actually made her a granny square sweater like this before. I actually can't find it though. I went to go find it the other day and I don't know where it is, but I have made her something like this, and I just would need to make myself something like that too. But like, that is adorable. Next up, this one I'm very excited for. Stripes. I am in the biggest stripe mood right now. When I made my godson his baby sweater, I used the Holga baby sweater pattern from Petite Knit, and that is using stripes, and since then I have been addicted. I want to make everything with stripes. I love a stripe. My next project I want to do after my colorwork one is the Olga knit sweater from Petite Knit. I've already bought the pattern for it. I'm just waiting on the yarn. I have bought yarn from Hobbies, so waiting on that to come in, and then I will be knitting stripes, and I'm so excited. But there's so many beautiful stripe patterns and projects that I want to do. Like, these are all absolutely stunning. Like, I love ones like this and this one with like different colored stripes going throughout. Like, that is so much fun. That would be another great scrap yarn project. Same with this one. But I also just love obviously the two kind of colored stripes. These colors are beautiful together. I love this v-neck as well. I definitely want to learn how to do a v-neck. I do think that is one of my next ones that I'm going to talk about, but that is stunning. Like, even just something like this where it's like kind of asymmetric, like not too, like it's just like the one stripe there, like that's really fun. Like, stripes just look so good to me. Like, look at all these. This is the baby sweater pattern that I use, the Petite Knit Holga sweater. This is similar to what mine looks like. This one, absolutely stunning. Love that. Like, vertical stripes, so much fun. I pinned so many stripe things because I love it. Okay, we actually have a sewing one, and it is doing shearing tops, shearing dresses, whatever it may be. I love a sheared look. I feel like this was made popular by one of my favorite designers in Australia, which is Après Studios. They had a dress that just went absolutely viral that had like, it was mostly like sheared. I love that style. It's absolutely stunning, and I saw so many people trying to make it, and I feel like I need to step up and do that. I feel like that looks so fun. I just get intimidated with shearing because I feel like it takes such a long time, but it looks so cool. It's so flattering. So I definitely think shearing is something, making sheared tops, sheared dresses, I feel like that's something that I want to try and do. And overall, I want to do more sewing projects because I don't think I actually sewed anything that much other than things for my small business. Like, 2024 was a lot of sewing for my small business, and like I feel like 98% of projects in 2024 was for my small business, and like 2% of projects were personal things. I definitely want to increase that for this year. I want to make more sewing things for myself. So sheared things, I love that. The next thing for sewing is doing a dropped hem. Dropped hem dresses and skirts are my favorite thing right now in fashion, and I think they're so flattering, especially on like a curvier body type like mine. Like, I love that a dropped hem is just like, I don't know, it's just so flattering. I definitely would love to make some dresses and skirts with a dropped hem kind of vibe. It looks so cute. This is an Après Studio dress that I actually own, and like, look at that dropped hem. I love that. That's so pretty. This is the Après Studio dress I was talking about. It is beautiful. It is definitely on my wish list. It's very expensive, but I love their pieces, and I love this dress. I actually have tried it on, and I love it so much. So anyway. That is stunning. The next thing for sewing, which I think is really fun, is collars. I think these are so cute and like definitely such a big part of my style now. A lot of my favorite tops that I own have like a big fun funky collar like these, and I think it just adds to an outfit. I think it is just so cute. I love a statement collar, and so I definitely want to make more sewing projects that involve collars. I love a statement collar. It's so cute. I feel like I've always been a fan of a collar ever since like the Zoella like Peter Pan collar, like years in like the early 2000s or like 2011. I feel like when she made those Peter Pan collars a thing, like I've always been obsessed. So this is like bringing that back but making it like really like with the little ruffles. Like, I just think it's cute, so we'll be making some of those. Okay, here we are with the v-necks. Told you they were coming up. I've not made anything with a v-neck, I don't think. I had a vest that I made for my small business Cozy when I first started it, because I started with knitting products, and I had a v-neck kind of sweater which I loved, but I haven't knit a v-neck in a very long time. I don't think I remember how to do it to be honest, but I love a v-neck. I think they're beautiful. So there's definitely like the ribbing around this one is absolutely stunning, and I love how deep that one is. Like that's a deep v-neck, and I just think they look so cute. They're so flattering, and there's so many adorable ones. I've definitely made a bunch of v-necks with crochet. I know how to do that, but with knitting I have no idea. Oh my god, so cute. And I love this one with the collar like a V, and also the collar, that is beautiful. So many cute things to knit. And the last thing, possibly my favorite category, is pet things. There's so many cute pet things. I haven't made anything for my dog for quite a while now, other than that granny square sweater that I now have lost. But there's so many cute things. Honestly, I pinned all these because like look how cute these animals are. Like look at these, they're so cute. Let's go through them. First of all, I definitely need to make a sweater like this for Miso. When I make my striped sweater, hopefully I have leftover yarn and I can make Miso one, because that would be so cute. But like these little hoods are like adorable. I love and like making things like this. I feel like I just don't make my dog enough things because one, I don't think she likes wearing things. I just make them just to put them on her for like 2 seconds to like look how cute she is, and then she wants them off, so then I take them off. I don't really like spending a lot of time making things for her when she doesn't like wearing them, especially like hats like this. Like she hates anything on her head. I feel like jumpers she doesn't mind. She can tolerate wearing a jumper. She'll be fine and comfortable in a jumper, but if I was to tie anything around her or like put a little hat on, she would hate that. But they're just so cute, like this with the pom-pom. This sweater is adorable. Like once I learn how to do color work like this, it's game over. Like she's gonna get so many cute things. Granny square ones, obviously. These little hoods, like that's so cute. Making hats like this, oh my gosh. The teddy bear, this hat. Like, okay, I definitely need to make some pet things for my dog. These are adorable. But that is everything on my 2025 knitting, crocheting and sewing plans to make. Inspiration, bucket list, whatever you want to call it. These are all things that I would love to learn or love to make a project that incorporates some of these things in it. I really feel like this is the year of me stepping up all of my crafts, all of my skills. I'm just so excited about all of my crafting plans and everything that we're gonna make. Like I'm just so excited to see what we're gonna make this year. I just feel like every single thing that I make in any of my crafts, I just always think like that is the best thing, because I'm always improving, I'm always trying to learn new things, and I just get really excited to see like what it is that I end up making in a year. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found some inspo for yourself. Let me know if any of these things made it onto your to make list, or let me know if there's something else that wasn't on my list that is maybe on your list that I can add to my list. We can all inspire each other. That's what we're all here for. And just let me know in the comments below what you're excited to make this year, because I love hearing about your guys' projects as well. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on seeing all of the projects that we end up making this year, because obviously I film it all for you guys. I also have my Instagram and my TikTok where I post frequently on there as well, so make sure to follow me over there. And yeah, I hope you guys are excited for this year of crafting. I'm sending you guys all of the crafty energy, okay? And don't worry if you're stuck on what to start making this year, because next week's video has a bunch of patterns and things that you can make. So if you are wanting anything specific to make and you want a pattern for it, definitely watch out for next week's video. I'll see you then. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.